Now let's look at a total contrast. Donald Trump spoke in Mint Hill, North Carolina yesterday. It was billed once again as an economic policy speech. What we find out very quickly with Trump is just because you call it an economic policy speech, it doesn't make it one, especially if you rant, rave, glitch, sweat, and look swollen and orange, which is what Donald Trump did. Here's Trump talking about Marxism, meant to be an economic speech, while having visibly no idea what Marxism is.
Harris, you're fired. Get out. You're fired. You did a lousy job as vice president. Look, Joe is the worst president in the history of our country. Jimmy Carter is the happiest man because the Carter administration, by comparison, was totally brilliant. And Kamala is considered, and if you go back 7 weeks, was considered the worst vice president in the history of our country. Now she wants to be president. We can't let it happen. And she's a Marxist. We're not ready for a Marxist president, and we never will be.
I would love it if someone asked Donald Trump, what is Marxism? And please list a couple of Marxist policies that Kamala Harris has proposed. Trump, as usual, continuing the politics of grievance, asking about Chris Wallace.
Everything else, and we're not going to let that happen. Joe got all that money for China. You know, China paid him a lot of money.
A lot.
So did Ukraine. So did Russia. They got a lot of money. Remember when I said during the debate, when Chris Wallace was the host, he did not so. How's Chris Wallace doing lately? Not too good, right? He's not doing too good. I said, why did the mayor of Russia's wife pay you?
By the way, I love how Trump says mare, like we're talking about a female horse. That one I will never get. Trump continuing to fixate, including during this very important economic policy speech, about whether Kamala Harris worked at McDonald's, which Trump insists she did not, despite the fact that we really have no reason to doubt it.
Even something like she worked very long and hard hours over French fries at McDonald's. She never worked at McDonald's. It was a fake story. It was a fake story. The press now refuses to write it because it's so, there's a very simple one. She said she worked at McDonald's and she didn't. Not highly sophisticated, not complicated. It was a lie. She never worked at McDonald's over the hot French fries. I think I'm going to a McDonald's in 2 weeks, actually. And I'm going to work the French fries because I will have worked longer and harder at McDonald's than she did.
Trump really obsessed with the phrase long and hard. I don't know why. That's been a theme of his speech now for several years. But why is he obsessed with Kamala Harris working at McDonald's? Now, if you need any proof that this speech was off the rails, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, bonkos, as we might call it, both Fox News and Newsmax cut away. Here is Fox News saying, we can't do any more of this.
I was a big buyer. I bought a lot of things here.
A lot.
That there was no place for furniture in particular, like North Carolina. You were the furniture capital of the world. But now so much of that business has been stolen from you and it's made in China and other places. And by the way, it's not as good. The quality is nowhere near. You made furniture. You bought a chair. It was good for 30 years. You buy some of these chairs that they sell you now, they break after about 2 months. People are laying
and Trump's furniture rant gets to be too much, and here we get the cutaway.
The floor, suing you for giving a bench. Then on top of it all, our government keeps them out. Then on top of it all, you get sued because they fell out of a chair at a hotel. Boy, oh boy, you made the best product. You made the best furniture. After the twin betrayals of NAFTA, which I ended, and China's entry into the WTO, World Trade, North Carolina lost over 300,000 manufacturing jobs quickly, including 60% of its furniture manufacturing jobs, and that number was going up until I came along.
All right, well, we're going to continue to watch this. We carried this economic speech in its entirety for almost an hour and a half yesterday. We're told that the rest of this speech will very much echo what we heard yesterday.
Hey, listen, we were tortured with 90 minutes of this insanity yesterday. We can't do it again. And Trump's so unhinged in Mint Hill, North Carolina, that even Newsmax cut away. Newsmax makes Fox News seem sane.
You need the right messenger. She didn't support domestic manufacturing. She killed 24,000 U.S. manufacturing jobs. In the last month alone, we lost 24,000 jobs. You know, there is a reason for the interest rate cut from the Fed. Big part of that reason is that our economy is doing really, really badly. Kamala goes to work every day in the White House. Families are suffering now. So if she has a plan, she should stop grandstanding and do it. Just do it. You have a few months left. Do it. Do it. You have plans for the border? Do it now. You know, you don't need anything at the border. All you need is the President of the United States to say, the border is closed. I didn't have anything. I had...
All right. As we predicted, Donald Trump mentioning the assassination attempts and the threats in his life, also, of course, talking about manufacturing and the importance of returning those jobs back to this country and his plan.
So, of course, sane washing the speech, but ultimately they dropped like flies. Trump's speeches are so whacked that even right-wing media sees them and goes, this isn't helping us, and it's certainly not helping Trump. We are out of here. I try to take my health and fitness seriously, cardio, weights, eating right. You can do all of the right things and have one major pitfall, which is just not knowing how your metabolism is functioning during your workouts. But our sponsor, Lumen, gives you that power. Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach. It's quite simply a device that measures your metabolism through your breath. And on the app, it lets you know if you're burning fat or carbs, and it'll give you tailored guidance with the goal of improving nutrition, workouts, sleep, and even stress management. None of these cookie cutter, one-size-fits-all nutrition plans. Lumen lets you know what's happening in your body in real time. It builds you a personalized health plan based on your data. For example, right before a workout, you can breathe into your Lumen and it'll tell you, are you burning carbs or fat? And on that basis, Lumen will tell you whether to carb up before your workout for an energy boost or if you're good to go. Using that biofeedback, Lumen can help you get the most out of your workouts. And in the long run, these are changes that can really add up. Go to lumen.me/Pacman to get 15% off your Lumen. The link is in the description.